It's time to put a new spin on innovation and touch off a revolution. It's time to push boundaries and leave our mark on the world. It's time to say goodbye to excuses, limitations, and half measures. It's time to get it together. New Onyx with Cross-Touch. Now, everything you can do with a touchscreen, you can also do with a touchpad. Only from Humminbird.
Yamaha V-Max SHO, the game changer. The pros knew right out of the first hole shot that the V-Max SHO was the real deal. V-Max SHO exceeds two-stroke performance, delivers four-stroke efficiency, and is packed with legendary Yamaha reliability. It's the faster, stronger, smarter, lighter family of V-Max SHO outboards from Yamaha. Build anything with the 2014 Toyota Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
Climbs on top of the leaderboard. Down, 1 out. Hawk on a hill. 7 man down. Shuts the door. A number 4.
You're watching Hooked Up on Bassmaster.com. Presented by Toyota.
Can't believe it. This is a big day, the final episode of Hooked Up from the regular season 2014. And here we are. We love New York. Glad to be here at Cayuga Lake. Look at all these great people out here. Let's hear it from them. Man, fantastic. Tommy Sanders, Mark Zona. We got a crowd here today.
Well, we do.
People who love bass fishing.
We do at that, Tommy Sanders, but can we do a do-over? Are we allowed to do that? Now, folks, real quick. We got to hang last week when we were in Philadelphia, and it was, I'm going to use the word rabid crowd, but I know I've hung out and partied with a lot of you. Let's do that one more time. 3, 2, 1. Raise the roof up.
Yeah.
Right? Come on. Exactly right, my friend Tommy Sand. And here's the beautiful thing. Every time we come to New York, and I'm not saying this jokingly, I said this yesterday when we did our Hooked Up show.
Yep.
We go to Texas, we go to Florida, Alabama, Michigan, Wisconsin, some of the best bass fishing water on earth. Trust me, and this is not a sales pitch. Every time we come to the state of New York, they knock their lights out. This state, by far, one of the best in the country.
Oh, man, and it is the center of the bass fishing world, especially this week. And this final day, we got 12 anglers out there on the water. Final event of the year, the Bassmaster Elite Series. Let's take a look at some of the action from today. Third place, Chris Zaldane, 5 pounds behind our leader, Greg Hackney.
Here we are, first spot. Todd Faircloth's right over there. We just we beat him here. We stopped a little early. We'll let him settle in. We'll just work the outside here. I got a couple of waypoints on the outside, and he's fishing just on the inside here. So first hour and a half is so key here right now. There's one, first cast. It's a good one. Stay up there. Hey, come on, stop that. Come here. Yes. 3.5 pounder, first fish, first cast. That's a nice one. All right, baby, nice first fish. Like I said, we're just gonna stay off, stay a little deeper. Try to load him up.
Chris Zaldane with a good one on the first cast of the day, and that one did not go unnoticed, Mark Zona.
No, it did not. And Chris Zaldane stayed at work, but there's been an unbelievable dynamic this entire tournament. Well, Chris Zaldane, if you see that boat behind him, is Todd Faircloth, 2 of the best fishermen on the Elite Series. Well, that's the problem. They have been dividing fish all week long, and they've been dividing fish that are that size. Now, you have to think to yourself, Tommy Sanders, somewhere in the back of Todd Faircloth's mind, he is having to watch this entire show.
Yeah, Todd Faircloth out there. And you said a week ago as we previewed it, this lake would fish small. Not because the fish aren't everywhere. It's just the greatest places on this lake is going to attract the really good guys.
100% head games earlier this morning.
How much of a head game is this sport?
It'll get in your head, no doubt.
Todd Faircloth, Chris Zaldain going head-to-head, fish for fish in this very special spot. What makes this spot stand out? What makes it so great?
Basically, it's just deep grass. You're looking at about 12 to 15 feet of water. And I can tell you one thing. That's how you want every Bassmaster TV show to start, because that was the first 4 minutes of the morning.
Unbelievable. Great fish. Todd Faircloth going through some great numbers of fish this week. And Chris Zaldain as well, because he's basically in the same place. Not the same story as the guy who leads on the going into the final day, Greg Hackney.
Exactly right. And Hackney, and we're going to get to something about Greg Hackney a little bit, but Hackney right back to work this morning. And here's the amazing thing. Every single time Greg Hackney set the hook, it was an absolute giant. The problem he has had throughout this tournament, he is not catching a lot of fish, but they are all this size bass.
Greg Hackney comes into this week the leader in Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points, and he sets out and has a great week up here. So timely. 20 pounds, 5 ounces on day one, 23 to back it up on day two, and yesterday, 17 pounds with only 4 fish, but enough to keep him in the lead.
Exactly, and one thing about this lake, if you notice, Todd Faircloth, guys like Greg Hackney, Texas, Louisiana fishermen, this lake sets up for deep grass fishermen. A lot of southern love going on up here. Greg Hackney at work early this morning.
I mean, I can see everything. It's almost like I'm fishing a new place. So there's definitely a good chance there's, 3 more here. I mean, because I'm looking at it now and I'm like, this is the first morning it's even looked like this. Yeah, that one in there, that second, that's about the smallest one I've caught. It's a hammer hole. Maybe the biggest one I've caught here. That's serious right there. Right. Almost thought about not swinging it, but I knew it's a good freaking hammer. Not gonna put my jig in the live well. I knew, I was like, damn, it's like sticking a bottom.
Greg Hackney not at all unhappy with the way it's going on this final day.
Well, Greg's a different individual, folks. Does anybody have you ever watched Greg Hackney on TV? Anybody?
Yep.
Greg Hackney has been on the Zona show a few times, and what I like to do is compare people to animals. And yesterday we were doing interviews, and I said, Tommy, he's a sewer possum. He kind of slinks around. He is. So what I had to do last night was find a picture of a sewer possum. Look at the jumbotron. That's what a sewer possum is right there.
That's a bad nickname. That's the worst picture.
But here's the amazing dynamic with Greg. That is so terrible.
Unbelievable.
To do that.
So bad.
Here's the amazing thing about Greg Hackney. Folks, I mean this. He is one of the stars of the Bassmaster Elite Series, and by far one of the best to play this game. And he has played it to perfection this week.
And how fantastic is it on this final day of the season to have 2 anglers, Todd Faircloth, Hackney, the best in the business, 10 ounces apart. We have got a dynamite weigh-in coming up. Thanks for joining us today.
Can I do something?
Yes, sure, yeah.
Here's what I want to do. Friend, I've noticed you in the crowd. Number one, I love the shirt. I don't like it, I love it. What is your name?
Jason Hutchings.
Jason, here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to tell everybody out there, and there is 47 million people watching, thanks for watching Hooked Up. Here comes the weigh-in. 3, don't mess this up, 2, 1.
Thanks for watching Hooked Up. Here comes the weigh-in.
Give it to them, folks. Yeah!
There are two kinds of people who fish. Those who simply fish and those who fish like pros. To tell them apart, just look at their engines. Pros choose Mercury because nothing beats a Mercury Pro XS when it comes to hole shot, acceleration, top speed, and reliability. And no one beats a Mercury dealer when it comes to service and support. Mercury Pro XS, the top choice of pros and those who fish like a pro. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
New trolling motor?
Yep.
Can I touch it?
I wouldn't.
Dakota Fortrex, now with 112 pounds of thrust and a restraining order. You've been warned.
When it comes to fishing, being prepared is essential for success. ARE products will help keep your gear dry, organized, and secure. That's why many Elite Series anglers like Justin Lucas use ARE truck caps on their trucks. When it's time to fish and they're biting, just go. We got you covered. ARE Accessories. The best on the water deserve the best on their truck.
Qualifier for the Booyah Truck giveaway. Please report to the Booyah booth, Justin Reinhardt. All right, everybody, you ready to do this? Please stand with me as we honor this great nation with the playing of our national anthem.
It's the ARE Truck Caps Bassmaster Elite, brought to you by Toyota.
Bass Pro Shops. Berkeley. Evan Williams Bourbon. Humminbird.
Triton Boats, Mercury, Minn Kota, Nitro, Skeeter Boats, and by Yamaha. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Dave Mercer!
I gotta say it right off the top. I love New York. What a crowd. Absolute bass fishing freaks, and the fish showed out in a big, big way this week. Who's everybody cheering for? Let me hear it. You think the Hack Attack is finally back and he's going to win this deal? Off of his worst season ever. He is on top of our Angler of the Year leaderboard, and it looked like he caught him, as you saw. But look out behind him, Todd Faircloth. How many Todd Faircloth fans we got in the house? So many anglers, and we've got some incredible stories in our field. You look, Kevin Short, for those of you that don't know, earlier this year lost his home to a tornado. He was pre-fishing for a tournament, had to leave that tournament, did not compete in that tournament. So one tournament down, most people would think, I actually called him, I remember talking to him right after that and saying, I guess you're not fishing the rest of the year. And he said, no, I'm going to go fishing. And he's gone fishing in a big, big way. Since then, had an incredible season, and one tournament short has put himself in contention to qualify for the Bassmaster Classic. How amazing is that story? The list goes on and on of anglers in this field. Of course, New York's, every time we come here, he is part of it. We got any Brandon Palnick fans in the house? He was our day one leader. So many anglers in that field. Chris Zaldane, Brent Chapman, our former Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Edwin Evers, Jarrett Lindner, Matt Herron, Dean Rojas. It keeps going on and on. Paul Elias, a Bassmaster Classic champion. But we are going to crown a champion in just a few minutes, and you guys have a very important job. Zona talked about it. We were in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to tell you, in Philadelphia, it was the most insane crowd we've ever had in Bassmaster history. But we are in New York, and I think you guys can bring it today, can't you? Up front here, you guys are bringing it, but back there, you got your hands in your pockets. We're in New York. You guys can bring it, right? We have 12 anglers. You have the easiest job of the week, but you just got to go absolutely crazy and ballistic every time we bring a new angler out here, and we are going to crown a champion in just a few minutes here. This is the final Bassmaster Elite Series regular season event of the season, and we are going to go from here to Escanaba, Michigan in just a month's time for our Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship event. Only the top 50 will move on there, but we are finishing our regular season right here in New York, and it couldn't be any more fitting. You guys are going to make lots and lots of noise. I know you're going to do it. Are you ready to meet? Let's test how loud you're going to be. Let's bring out our tournament director, Mr. Chris Bowes. Chris, a native son of this area of New York, here as your tournament director this week. Obviously, I got to say it because we're going to hear about it. Everyone's going to say, where is Tripp? Well, Tripp is not here this week. Unfortunately, the Bass family lost one of the forefathers of this sport, really, and James Pooley Dawson, and Tripp is attending his funeral. And but Tripp's not here, but we have a great guy here, and that's Chris Bowes. And you come from this area originally.
Yeah, and I appreciate those kind words, Dave. And absolutely, James Pooley Dawson, who worked with Bass for over 40 years, will be greatly missed. He was a outstanding worker running the events, but more importantly, an outstanding person. So our hearts go out to his family, and they'll be in our thoughts and prayers, certainly. And you're right, Dave. I kind of, if there's a good, good to come from a bad, is that I get to return here home to central New York, the Finger Lakes region, and get to see one of the fisheries here in Cayuga Lake, and of course the Finger Lakes. Get to see how well it's done this week, and it's really showed up.
It showed up, and the crowd has showed up in a big, big way. But this event wouldn't be possible without some great support from the local community.
Yeah, wherever we go, we have to lean on the local folks. And, of course, the I Love New York campaign. They've done a fantastic job for several years bringing us to various locations. And we're excited to be here in the Finger Lakes. Already kind of teased out there. I'm going to go ahead and say it again. We're going up to Waddington next year with the Bassmaster Elite Series. So had huge crowds up there in Waddington. Great crowds here. We love New York. It's the fourth most visited state by Bass, competing with those traditional southern powerhouses like Texas and Alabama and certainly Florida. So we're really proud of our fisheries up here, and we're also proud of our host organization right here in Union Springs and the village of Union Springs. Give them a big round of applause. Who knows Mayor Ed Trufant? You guys know Mayor Ed? We call him Farmer here. You guys call him Farmer? That guy is amazing. I literally think he has lived here on the venue for 4 days. So give him a big round of applause. Along with Andy Reinfleisch, who's with the Chamber of Commerce. They've done a lot of stuff. We got some Andy fans over there. And when you're doing that, keep your hands together for our volunteers. You see a lot of the folks running around with the yellow caps. We got folks with the New York Bass Nation, as well as a great group of young individuals that we're trying to get hooked onto fishing with Troop 53 out of Fleming, New York, the Boy Scout troop there. Give them a round of applause. Because those folks are critical to making these events run and taking care of the fish and taking care of the fishery, getting them in our Shimano live release boats so they can be released and caught by all you folks again. And, conservation is first and foremost, not only taking care of the fish, but Bass likes to get involved in a lot of different programs, including habitat, restoration, as well as, invasive species, such as you may be familiar here in New York. They do a lot of water chestnut poles, which are really a problem up here. So that bass conservation is very, very important. I'm going to urge you all, and listen up, and I know you maybe can't do it today, but it's a very important cause. I need you to go to bassmaster.com/conservation. Over the next few weeks, we're eligible as one of the nation leaders in conservation efforts to get a $45,000 grant, and we really want to get that. And I just looked. I'm going to tell you, Dave, we're not in first place. We're in third place right now, so we need your help. And those folks watching on Bassmaster.com, get out there and vote.
Show the world how powerful anglers are and get out there and vote. I know I'll be voting. You can vote every single day and going to check that out. But we're just about ready to weigh some fish, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of zero out these scales. You got some work to do, and we'll get ready to weigh some fish.
Well, before we do that, I asked you guys, you got to make lots and lots of noise. And I learned a long time ago, Chris, the best way to get people to make some noise is bribe them. Free stuff. Who wants free stuff? This is the ARE Truck Cabs Bassmaster Elite, so of course ARE Truck Cabs is throwing it out as our fan frenzy. Get loud, make some noise for ARE Truck Cabs. Come on, keep it going for ARE Truck Cabs, our presenting sponsor and the host of our Fan Frenzy. Oh, all right. You guys did pretty good there. You see these cameras going around? We've got cameras flying over your head. We've got jib cameras. Got cameras all over the place. We want to show people. I told you about those absolute freaks that we had in Philadelphia, and I loved it. But we want to show them that this is a party place to come. Not only can you catch giant fish, but you come to New York and you guys know to rock, right? Who wants to be on ESPN 2? Now it's really, really easy how this works, and this is my tell for the people in the back. We get big crowds like this. Sometimes people say we can't hear. Anytime during this weigh-in, when you see me or Chris grab a towel and do this, we are the world's ugliest cheerleaders, basically. Okay, these are our pom poms. So when I spin this, you make noise. Let's check it. Some pretty powerful towels. Okay, on the count of 3, I want 30 seconds of absolute insanity. Can you do it? 1, 2, 3. All right. That was pretty good, but I think you can do a little better than that. But we love New York. I know you all love New York. You know the campaign. We're going to let New York know how much we love them. Everybody on this side, you're going to say "I" when I tell you. Okay, can you do that? Okay, do you guys imagine what you're going to say? This side? Love, right? That's what you said, right? And you guys over here. Are you ready? 30 seconds of absolute insanity. Let's see it one more time. All right. Slow down. You're going to use all your power before we ever bring an angler across the stage. Everyone's going to be exhausted. All right. Who wants the Bassmaster Elite Series to come back here in a few years? Before we bring an angler out, I think we got to, since we did that I Love New York thing, I got an idea. Our presenting sponsor and a big reason we are here, ARE Truck Cabs. Let's give them a little thanks. You guys are going to say A, right? You guys are going to say R. Do you guys know what you're saying? Okay, let's do it. All right, are you guys ready? Are we ready to weigh some fish, Chris? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we started with 107 anglers, cut it down to 50. Now just 12 remain. In just a few moments, one of them will become the ARE Truck Cabs Bassmaster Elite Series champion. I gotta ask you, are you ready? No. I said, are you ready? Let's get ready to win! Our first angler from Mayflower, Arkansas, 5-time Bassmaster winner, K-Pink Kevin Short. Kevin Short made a giant push to get in this top 12, qualified in 12th position, so it's all gravy. Going to move up that leaderboard, 51 pounds, 4 ounces to start the day. Got 5 fish, needs 9:14 to take the lead. 5 fish all alive, 16 pounds, 6 ounces, a brand new leader in K-Pink. Hold them high and get loud for K-Pink, Kevin Short. Well, Kevin, you waited middle way through the weigh-in yesterday. 25 guys were down, and you were in 12th position. So I know you left the stage thinking, my tournament is done. But you have proven this year, as a guy who you put your back against the wall. You go through. I said it yesterday. I don't know how you focus to go fishing, never mind catch fish, with everything that's happened with you and your family this year. But you have shown to be a true survivor and a battler, and you battled your way into this top 12 and had another great day, and you're leading this deal right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's, I guess Kerry and I just don't have quit in us. I mean, it's just not, it's not programmed in us. I mean, we've dealt with, a lot worse than, losing our house in a tornado. So, it's, I tell you what, when something like that happens to you, when, your house and basically half your stuff is gone. I mean, it really makes you appreciate what's really important. Okay. And I mean, we learned 10 years ago that the people that are important are the things that are important in your life are the people around you. Okay. Whether it's your family, my B.A.S.S family, our fans, that's what really matters. Okay. That's stuff that you can't replace, okay? A new house, new clothes for my wife, we can get that. And, I told the people that, when we were at the Dardanelle event, hell, I never liked the way that house was anyway. So, now I'm going to get a brand new house out of the deal, and, I ain't got no problem with that. It's going to take a little while. But I ain't got no problem with that. So, we came up here, we left 3.5 weeks ago, and our total focus was to make 2 top 12s, because I knew that would, even missing one event, I knew that 2 top 12s would guarantee that I got in the top 50. And, hey, I got that done. I'm a happy man.
Good. Don't go anywhere before I hand you. I'm going to send you over to the hot seat, and the whole deal is, for those of you who haven't been here, the Bassmaster Wayne's going to load that hot seat. You want to stay there as long as you can. Our final angler bringing through here is going to be Greg Hackney. You want to stay there as long as you can, and then maybe knock him off after this is done. But before you go anywhere, I got to find out, how'd you catch him this week?
Oh, well, I was doing 2 different things. I was, I was flipping grass that was in 10 to 12 foot deep, and I was using a Zoom. Big 3 3/4 inch tube, green pumpkin, blue flake, and with a 1 ounce Strike King tour grade weight, a little Mustad 3/0 grip pin hook. I was actually using fluorocarbon leader tied to some 50-pound braid, vicious braid, and I was just looking for the real nice, clean edges. And most of what I fished was from 8 miles down to Ithaca. When kind of the flip and bite would die for me a little bit about the mid-morning, and then I'd start fishing docks, and I was just skipping a little stick worm like a Zoom, kind of can't think of what the stupid thing's called. Fluke stick. I just skip it up underneath the docks, and it was, that's mostly what I did today, because it was fun, and that's a little thing that Zona told me, or showed me several years ago. It was just a great fun. I love this lake. I love me some New York. Thank you, guys.
Let's hear it for Kevin Short. Going to load our Toyota hot seat. A great champion on and off the waters, ladies and gentlemen. But let's keep on rolling through. Our next angler is the heavyweight champion of professional bass fishing, the 1982 Bassmaster Classic champion from Laurel, Mississippi, Paul Elias. Paul Elias started the day with 51 pounds and 6 ounces. Needs 16.5 to take the lead. Unfortunately, too short of a limit. 7 pounds and 10 ounces moves into 4th place right now. But whenever you're fishing on a Sunday, you know it is a good deal.
Yeah, this is my 3rd 12 cut this year, and it seems like I fell on my face on the 4th day every time. But I just got to say the Lord's blessed me. I had a good tournament, and I've made a living fishing, and so I can't complain about anything. I did the same thing Kevin was talking about. And this is kind of ironic for me. If anybody's followed my career, I don't usually use a spinning rod, and I threw a spinning rod this whole week, and I apologize for any dock owners out here because you probably got line all over your docks. But I was skipping a man's free fall with a nail ended up under docks the whole time, and had the opportunity to do a lot better. There's a lot of big fish around those docks, but I'd like to thank some sponsors: Honda Marine, Triton Boats, Orca Coolers, Man's Bait Company, Pinnacle, Costa, and a special thanks to Power Pole, because I couldn't have fished those docks yesterday without my power pose. I could put them down and just really work it with that wind and then pick them back up and go to the next one. But, man, this is an awesome crowd. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Praise the Lord.
Congratulations, another great finish for Paul Elias, but let's keep on rolling. Our next angler has weighed in the 5 biggest fish in Bassmaster history, a 4-time Bassmaster winner from Lake Havasu City, Arizona, Dean the Machine Rojas. Dean Rojas started the day with 51 pounds and 7 ounces. He's got 5 fish, all alive, looking for 16.4 to take the lead. 13 pounds, 6 ounces. Not going to take the lead, but moves into second place with 64 pounds, 13 ounces. And once again, Dean Rojas rolls into New York and rolls out with a big payday. Boy, Dean, we were talking on the dock this morning, and New York has been very, very good to you. You know, had a victory here a few years ago, and, this fishery, this lake, I mean, you were one of the first guys when I got here and looked at the lake. I knew it set up well for you, and another great finish here.
Yeah, another great finish. You know, I'm excited to come to New York, and, a little bit of trivia. You know, I'm from out west. I grew up in San Diego, California, but I was born in New York City, believe it or not. So it's like coming home to New York. It's always got a place in my heart. And not a lot of people know about that, a little bit of trivia. So I'm a Yankee, even though I'm from the West Coast. With a little bit of California flash on top of that. So, it's been a great week, folks. I caught all my fish this week, flipping a fighting frog. I never caught anything on my hollow belly frog all week. It never set up real good for it like it would Oneida. So I fished a lot of grass, and caught a couple on a chatterbait too. So just kind of moving around a lot. But, I couldn't do this with a lot of the sponsors. Gander Mountain is my corporate sponsor. They've been with me for 5 years. Skeeter Yamaha, they power me all through the season. Just an excellent group of sponsors. Fro, Gamagatsu, Big Bite. I want to say a special thanks to Lawrence, Rigid, and all you fine folks for coming out here. Thank you so much. I look forward to coming back to New York. Keep it real. I love New York.
Three down. Let's bring through our next angler having an incredible season from Asheville, Alabama. 5-time Bassmaster Classic qualifier, Matt T-Bone Herron. Matt Herron started the day with 51 pounds and 7 ounces. He's got a 5-fish limit, looking for 16.4. 14 pounds and 9 ounces. Kevin Short sits in that hot seat for a little while longer with 66 pounds even. Matt Herron moves into second place. $66 pounds even, and boy, you have been on an incredible ride these last few months. It seems like everywhere you go fishing, came very close to winning the Forest Wood Cup last week. You come here, short pre-fish, and still part of our top 12. So things are going good for you right now.
They really are. I'm really blessed to have had the week that I had. And when you come in here short time like I did, you just got to keep to the basics. Everybody remember that. Everybody's got to work all week. Just keep it simple. Do what you like to do, and that's what I tried to do, and I made it all the way to the top 12. It's been a really good year, and I couldn't have done it without my sponsors. Skeeter Boats, Yamaha Outboards, not a better ride on the water. Santone Lures, Reaction Innovations, Minn Kota, Humminbird, you name it, the list goes on and on and on. I couldn't do it without them, and we really couldn't do it without all these great fans from New York.
Before I let you go here, I got to ask you, I know everyone in the crowd wants to know, how'd you catch him this week?
On a little brown jig.
Just throwing a little brown jig.
Same MO I did at Chickamauga. I pulled it out of the box. I used it at Murray a couple weeks ago, and then I rolled in here first day of practice, and I seen all these docks, and I'm like, they buy the brown jig everywhere else. So I've made about $70,000 on that little brown jig in the last couple of weeks, so it's been pretty good.
That is a very good little brown jig. Let's hear it for Matt Herron. He's an 8-time Bassmaster winner from Talala, Oklahoma, E-squared, Edwin Evers. Edwin Evers started the day with 52 pounds and 12 ounces, looking for 14-15 to take the lead. 19 pounds, 13 ounces. With 72 pounds and 9 ounces, Edwin Evers moves into the lead here at the ARE Truck Cabs Bassmaster Elite. Get loud, New York. With that, we say goodbye to Kevin Short and hello to Edwin Evers, our brand new leader. 72 pounds, 9 ounces. An incredible day here today. If you were going to have a big day, you might as well have it on Championship Sunday. All week long, we heard guys asking for the sun, saying it's going to get better with the sun. But so far in this way, and we've weighed 5 anglers, and you're the first one that really had a big day with the sun. Was it the sun that changed it, or did you change?
No doubt the sun. You know, I was so excited to go fishing this morning just because of the day. You know, it was just a beautiful grass flipping day. And this is what you want for a grass flipping day. You just want calm conditions where you can really see those isolated, you know, big heads of grass, and you can make real long pitches to them. You know, I called on my very last flip today. In the last 15 minutes today, I caught 3 good ones. You know, it's just one of those days. As the day goes on, it gets better and better. You know, I found those fish this week just burning down those banks with a Mega Bass Spark Shad. You know, they'd come up and roll on it. And then as the tournament got here, I just caught them all flipping a Zoom Z Hog, you know, black blue sapphire. And it was a lot of fun this week. I ran that boat. I'd fish from one end to the other, you know, just looking for little key points, and, you know, had a lot of fun.
You know, I always say you're one of the most versatile Elite Series pros we have. I mean, not just technique-wise, but geographically. You've won in Florida, you've won in New York. You're the only angler ever in the Bassmaster Elite Series that's won a tournament with all smallmouth, all largemouth, and all spotted bass. But New York has been very good to you. I mean, it took a win just a few years ago up on Lake Erie, and in contention here again this week. Why is New York so good for you?
I don't know. It's just an awesome state. You know, you guys got some great fisheries here, and, you know, I love smallmouth fishing on Lake Erie and Cayuga. This place is an absolute blast. The lady down there, there's a lady down there trying to sell me a house this morning. You know, I was talking to her, and, you know, if it wasn't for such a great family back home in Oklahoma, I'd be buying a house here in New York on Cayuga. It's a great place. I got to tell thank you to my wife. My wife ended up flying in today, and I was so excited. You know, I was kind of down in the dumps this morning taking off. You know, you're in the top 12, but Hackney and them was kind of running away with it. And then my wife said she's coming, and it made my day for her to be here. So I'm really thankful you're here, babe.
Well, you don't get to go see her quite yet. We're going to let you go over to our hot seat and kick back, and I hope you stay there for a long time. Let's hear it for Edwin Evers. A giant bag of fish, but let's keep on rolling through. Our next angler, former Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Open champion, Bassmaster Classic qualifier all the way from California. The milkman always delivers, Jarrett Lintner. Jarrett Lintner started the day with 53 pounds and 12 ounces. He's got a 5-fish limit. It's going to be close. Needs 18-14, 17 pounds, 10 ounces. 1 pound, 4 ounces short of the lead, but Jarrett Lintner's incredible season on the Bassmaster Classic continues. Boom shakalaka, giant pass for Jarrett Lintner. Going to weigh that for Carhartt Big Bass. Overall leader is Jacob Prosnick, 6 pounds, 6 ounces. I think that's definitely going to take it for the day. 6 pounds, 2 ounces. Not going to take the overall lead, but for the day you've got it. 6 pounds, 2 ounces, and in second place, and you were in 8th place as of yesterday, an Angler of the Year points. So this is only going to help you continue this incredible season.
Yeah, you know, today was a lot of fun. Early in the day, I caught that big one, and I was like, man, is this meant to be today? You know, and then it just kind of died out for me. But I had a great week. Caught a lot of fish. Caught them several different ways. Like today, I thought I was going to end up killing them, like Edwin said, flipping the grass. This afternoon, I don't know what happened. I seen them. They were the fish that I was around got away from the grass, and I didn't make the right adjustments. But had a great time. I got to say thanks to Tackle Warehouse, Yamaha, Skeeter. There's my wife and my boy right there, and I got my 2 other ones are back at home, and I know they wanted to go fishing, so we're going to go when I get home.
Let's hear it for Jarrett Lintner, ladies and gentlemen. We are halfway through this weigh-in, and Edwin Evers is in our hot seat. Well, let's keep him rolling through. Our next angler, a 4-time Bassmaster winner, the 2012 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year from Lake Quivira, Kansas, the Chap Attack, Brent Chapman. 54 pounds and 4 ounces to start the day. He's got 5 fish, looking for a big day to take the lead from Edwin Evers, looking for 18 pounds and 6 ounces. 5 very, very lively fish. Once again, as Chris said, all these fish are going to go on our Shimano live release boats and get returned 15 pounds and 9 ounces. In third place with 69 pounds and 13 ounces. Brent, you came into this event needing a big finish for, just a few years ago you took Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year title, but this year you're fighting to get into that Bassmaster Classic, and boy, you have not given up on this fight. You've been fighting all week, and may just have done enough to continue that charge into Angler of the Year week.
Yeah, I really hope so. I've really worked hard this week. It's been just an absolute blast. As we can see, New York fans are some of the best out there, and you know what's funny is I've fished all around this country, and my wife could never understand when I get home why I'd want to go fishing on our lake, and it's not to go fishing, it's to go catching. But you guys in New York, you've got something special here. But a lot of the places you fish here in New York, they're not fishing lakes, they're catching lakes. You guys have some phenomenal fishing up here, and Cayuga's right here at the top for sure.
As I said a couple of years ago, you went into the final regular season event with trying to solidify that Angler of the Year. But in here with your back against the wall, which pressure is harder to deal with, to be on the top or to try to slide in that Classic?
I'd have to say right now it's trying to slide in that Classic because, back then I knew I was in the Classic, so I had nothing to really lose, so it was a big relief. But here it's been a big grind, so we're going to keep grinding and try to make sure we're at that Classic.
Real quick, how'd you catch him this week?
I caught a lot of fish on a variety of deep diving crankbaits, including some Livingstons, and then today I stuck with it too long, and that's what really hurt me. Finally, I pulled out the flipping stick, started flipping a little tight line UV beaver up in the grass, and really started to catch them. I just didn't do it soon enough.
Well, we want to congratulate you on a great finish and wish you luck getting into our Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year week. Edwin doing very good over there, but we have some big sticks coming through here. Last time we were in New York, this guy rolled out with a trophy. He's a former Bass Nation and national champion, a 2-time Bassmaster Elite Series champion from Rathdrum, Idaho, the prodigy, Brandon Polinick. He was your day one leader. Had 54 pounds, 7 ounces at the start of the day today. 14 pounds and 9 ounces with 69 pounds even. Brandon Polnick moves into 4th place. Not going to take the title this time, but some big change rolling out of town here in New York. £69 even. And boy, what a fishery when you look at, almost 70 pounds of fish, and we still have a few anglers left to go here, and not going to take the lead in this thing, but this fishery has been incredible, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I would not be upset if we just had an entire Elite Series season in New York. We'd fish all the Finger Lakes, Waddington, Oneida. I mean, we've got unbelievable fishing. Every time we've had an event in New York, we've had unbelievable crowds. So anytime we come back to New York, I'm going to be pumped up. I really need to have a good event here to put myself in position for the Classic and to be able to go smash some more smallmouth up in Escanaba. So good week here, did that. And I got to say hello to my little buddy, my cousin Seth at home. I think he's watching. I didn't get to say hi to him yesterday, so hi, Seth.
Before you go anywhere, I got to ask you how you caught him, because, you talked about that heavy jig you were fishing, but I watched footage, and, you caught him on a lot of different baits here this week, it looked like.
Well, that's the thing about New York. You can catch them so many different ways, but the majority of my fish actually came from 25 to 40 foot. I found 2 small little rock piles out on this big, deep flat. I was actually looking for smallmouth, and found these big schools of largemouth. And I was catching them the first day, stroking a big 1 ounce Terminator jig with a Berkeley chigger craw trailer on there. And then the last couple days I caught it dragging it. And then I caught them on a drop shot, twitch tail minnow, same thing I caught them in Waddington on. Heck, I caught them on stick baits, crank baits. I mean, you name it, I caught them on it.
Well, you've done another incredible job. Let's hear for Brandon Polnick. Quickly becoming one of the biggest stars in our sport. Our next angler, his first season here on the Bassmaster Elite Series, but he is no rookie, but he is leading Rookie of the Year in 4th place for Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points. Already won Elite Series victory earlier this year. Get loud for J-Pros, Jacob Porosnik. Started the day with 55 pounds, 11 ounces. He's got a 5-fish limit, looking for 16-15 to take the lead from Edwin Evers with just 4 anglers left to go here. Looking for 16-15. 15 pounds even, not going to take the lead, but moving to 3rd place with 70 pounds, 11 ounces. Let's celebrate another amazing Elite Series finish for Jacob Porosnik. 70 pounds, 11 ounces, and as I said, another great finish for you here in the Bassmaster Elite Series, and it's been a very blessed season for you.
Absolutely, I can't complain, but like Brandon said, I wouldn't care if we had every tournament up here in New York. I think in my career, I've fished like 16 tournaments up here, and I finished in the top 10 14 out of 16 times, so I love New York.
I think I've heard that somewhere before, but tell me this week, how'd you catch him?
I caught him actually flipping milfoil. I live right beside the Potomac River, and bass, one of their main grass that they live in is milfoil. And then if you can find some little sections of it and stuff, them great big ones they actually live in it all year round. They won't leave. They'll spawn in it. They'll live in it because all the brim and stuff like that. So that's what I was flipping, the Elite Tungsten 3/4 and a 1 ounce punch weight with a skirt on it. It's kind of like a jig, but you actually tie like a 4 or 5 aught mustad hook on the back of it, flip some kind of creature bait and behind it. But it just comes out of the grass so easy. It doesn't get hung on like the bristles of a jig and all that stuff. So it's real easy to flip. I caught some on a Livingston Dive-Master 20. We got some great new colors coming out here in the future. Check them out at Bass Pro Shops, Walmart, while we're here, Priority Toyota, they're a sponsor of mine. They give me a truck to drive. I know all y'all guys are watching. I love y'all to death. Can't wait to get home. We'll have to have a big party or something. But, Ranger Mercury, this list goes on. And that's what makes everybody that does this the best, because we get to run the best equipment and fish the best rods and reels and line and baits and all that stuff. So check all our stuff out. We don't use it unless it's good, and I promise you. But I love New York. I love everyone there, and I'll see y'all next time.
All right. We will see you in Escanaba. Just 3 anglers left to go, and I got to come over here and say, Edwin, this is working out pretty good for you, but 8 victories already with Bass, but I guess number 9, it would be no big deal, right?
Oh, I'd love to have it. Don't ever get me wrong. I'd love to have it.
This event, you came in here, last season. I look at last season, came in with that big lead, but a little pressure this year dealing with it. But this event is going to, solidify your berth to the Bassmaster Classic and get another shot at that title.
I really stubbed my toe early in the season, and I was fighting and clawing my way, tried to get back into that Classic. So it was really, really great and a big blessing for me to finish strong here in New York.
All right, well, sit back and relax because we have 3 anglers left to go. But these 3 are pretty scary. They've had an incredible week, all 3 of them. Our first angler in the top 3 had an incredible week here. Came in here with his back against the wall, needed a big finish, and it looks like he may have done it. A former Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Open champion, all the way from San Jose, California, looking to get Zaldangerous. From San Jose, California, the California Kid, Chris Zaldane. Chris Zaldane looking to bring the pain. Had 56 pounds and 4 ounces to start the day. Looking for 16-6 to take the lead. Looking for 16-6. 5 fish all alive. 18 pounds, 8 ounces. It took a while, but the results gets a smile from Chris Zaldain, your brand new leader. Get loud for him. The California Kid crushes them on Championship Sunday. With that, we say hello to our brand new leader, Chris Zaldain, and let's give Edwin Evers a big round of applause as he leaves the stage. Boy, you came in here with your back against the wall like so many anglers. You know, came into this event, a lot of anglers really fighting and clawing to get into that top 50 to keep their, chances of making the Bassmaster Classic alive. And you came out in spades.
Entering this event, I was 63rd in points. I absolutely needed about a top 8 finish. And hard work pays off. I was the first truck and boat in the parking lot every morning here, 3 days of practice. And on the second day, I found a magical spot, and it never did occur to me to start on that spot, and I thought no one would have found it, and I got there late the first day and caught 16 pounds, started there the next day and found Todd there as well, and we both went to whacking. It was absolutely amazing. I caught 21, he caught 20. The next day, same story, both catch 19 and 20 pounds, so it's been an unbelievable week by far, but again, that hard work definitely pays off, and I think I'm sitting in the low 40s in points now, so I made the postseason, made that goal, and hopes of making the Classic is still alive. So caught my fish all week, drop shot, believe it or not, and out in 22 feet of water. That was the key. A lot of guys were fishing shallower, 10 to 12 feet, fishing the grass they could see. I couldn't see the grass I was fishing. That real light line I think helped a little bit. I'm using that Seaguar Tatsu line, an 8 and 10 pound test. It was really cool, actually. I was throwing a 20-pound braided line, and every time I'd catch a fish, it would dig into the grass and actually saw the grass off, so I'd know where each and every clump was. The grass would float to the surface, so I'd say, there's a clump, and there's a clump. Come back the next day and just fish those high-percentage spots. So it's been a great week, without a doubt, and just stoked on a top 3 finish here. And just real quick, I want to say thank you to Keystone Oilfield Fabrication out of Texas there. We adopted a little dog out on Lake Dardanelle a couple months ago, and that little bugger, he's staying at their house, and he's chewing up leather shoes and leather sofas, so they're taking care of him. I know he's a pain in the butt, but thank you for taking care of him, Larry and Sia. I appreciate it.
I want to let you go kick back in the hot seat, but before you go, a lot of times, when anglers are fishing the same area, we hear about conflict, but it looked like you and Todd worked fairly well together. But I'm sure somewhere in your mind, both of your minds, you kind of got to feel, boy, if I had this to myself, this may have been game over.
Yeah, again, like I said, that first day, he fished the morning shift, and I fished the afternoon shift. We were both there alone, so we had no clue. Well, my marshal I drew the first day was his marshal the second day. So when we saw each other on the spot, our marshal was kind of the common ground there. So, he was here, it was there. So
he was Judge Judy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So, he had a better boat draw. He was doing a lot better than tournament. So I kind of stayed back a little bit, and I found those little angles and those little grass clumps out a little deeper, 22, 23 feet. And this morning I started out a little deeper, out away from Todd, and ended up catching a couple nice ones. So definitely, I highly respected angler Todd Faircloth, and I did what I could, to stay off and stay back and respect his water, and it turned out really good.
He's definitely one of the best in the business, but so are you, my friend. Go load our Todd a hot seat. Let's hear it for Chris Zaldain, your tournament leader. With just 2 more anglers to go. You ready to meet our next angler? He is a 4-time Bassmaster Elite Series champion from Jasper, Texas, T-O-double-D, Todd Faircloth. Todd Faircloth at 60 pounds and 7 ounces. He's got a 5-fish limit. Looking for 14 pounds and 6 ounces to take the lead from Chris Zaldain. 15 pounds, 6 ounces, 1 pound in the right direction. Get loud for Todd Faircloth, your brand new leader. With that, we say goodbye to Chris Zaldain, but a big round of applause, an incredible finish. Boy, you guys spent a whole bunch of time beside each other this week, and I guess it's got to kind of feel good to, you never want to see a guy lose, but you kind of want to beat everybody out there. That's the whole name of the game. So, as I said to Chris, I mean, in your mind, I'm sure it's gone through your head a bunch of times thinking, boy, I wish that dude never found this spot and I could have had it all to myself.
Yeah, y'all have already heard this story. Chris described it as it went down. And, it was kind of an off-the-wall spot, so I really didn't expect anybody to fish it. I fished it the first day, and I kind of guarded it till 10:30 the first day to make sure nobody was fishing it. And I felt for sure if anybody had found that spot, they would have fished it by then. But anyway, that's the way it goes. I have had an absolute blast here fishing. This lake is absolutely full of fish. Just advice, if you're looking for fish out there, just get on the outside edge of the grass line, get you a Strike King 5XD and green gizzard shad, and just crank it around out there on the outside edge, and anywhere from 15 to 19 foot. And if you hit a pot of fish and start catching one or two, pick up a Strike King, cutter worm, and green pumpkin and fire it out there, and you can catch a bunch more. So those are the two baits that I fished all week. And anytime we fish a grass lake, I feel at home. This crowd has been outstanding every day we've been here. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank Strike Skeeter Boats, Yamaha Outboards. They give me a great platform to fish from, and it's the best in the business. I've been with them my entire career, and just proud to be a part of the team. But I want to say hi to my wife, kids back home. My kids start school tomorrow, so we'll see you in a couple of days. Love you guys.
Before I let you, you're going to have about the world's shortest seat in that hot seat. You don't even see. You can just step aside because we've only got one angler left to go. But that one angler, you're going to battle him for a little while longer. No matter how this works out, it's going to be a gunfight between you two. 4 days away from one of you winning Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year title for the first time. Both of you have never done it unless somebody can sneak up from behind. But right now, it looks like a two-horse race here, and you've got 4 days and few days to get ready for Escanaba. Are you going to sleep for the next month, or you want to get this party going?
Oh, I'm definitely going to sleep. I'm going to go back to Texas and, spend a couple of weeks there and then head back up here. But, Greg's a great competitor. Aaron, Mark Davis, there's several of us right there bunched up, and it's going to come down to the last day up there at Michigan. And, us guys, we're all friends. We all root for each other, but we're competitors and we want to win as well. But, when we pulled up to this lake and I saw all the grass in there, I instantly knew Greg was going to catch them. We grew up in the South, Texas, Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, and, we feel right at home right here in New York out there fishing that grass.
Well, I want to congratulate you on a great finish. No matter what way this works out, let's take you to step aside for just a minute, and we'll bring through our final angler. New York, are you ready? Our next angler has had an incredible career, but if there is one hiccup in his career, it was last season. Did fail to make the Bassmaster Classic for the first time ever, but he is back and back with a vengeance. A 3-time Bassmaster winner, a former Forest Wood Cup champion from Gonzales, Louisiana, the Hack Attack, Greg Hackney. Greg Hackney. We're going to bring your fish up here and get this officially done. 75 pounds and 13 ounces. You've had an incredible tournament here. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
Well, honestly today everything went the way I wanted it to, and the scales will tell the tale, but it's been a great week. I don't know how to explain it. I couldn't think of a better place to be this week. So, I was in good contention Angler of the Year, and I just wanted to have the best tournament I could. And you know what? It turned out I have. So, it's been a great week.
No matter how this works out, I think it's official to say after your toughest season ever last year, the Hack Attack is back. Let's get your fish up here. We'll get Todd Faircloth to join him side by side. Todd, come on up here. Get you side by side, and we'll bring Greg Hackney and find out who our leader is going to be side by side. 75 pounds of 13 ounces. Both these anglers, one of them is going to be our champion, looking for just going to flip that screen. Okay, he came into this with 61 pounds and an ounce, looking for 14 pounds, 13 ounces to take the lead. 23 pounds, 15 ounces. The Hack Attack is back. Your 2014 New York Bassmaster Elite Series champion, Greg Hackney. The Hack Attack is back and in a big, big way. 85 pounds even. What a slaughter, my friend. Your biggest bag of the tournament here on Championship Sunday. They always say that champions perform on Championship Sunday, and that is exactly what you did here. All week you talked about the weather. I need the sun. I need the sun. Well, you got the sun, and you delivered.
Well, yesterday the biggest thing that got me was that big wind. I just couldn't fish out there. I was fishing deep grass, using my jig, an ounce and a quarter, Strike King Hack Attack jig. I done forgot what color it was. It was blue crawl with a sapphire blue rage crawl on the back, and I just been flipping deep grass all week, and I've caught every fish I've weighed in that way, with the exception of one. I had found a big fish in practice, and the first day I went with a shimmy stick and caught her off a dock, and she weighed 5'3", but other than that, all I've done is had my 7-Eleven flipping stick and just fishing deep grass. It's my favorite way to fish, so this lake really did set up perfect. I wasn't getting a lot of bites. Like today I only caught 7 or 8, but they were just, you know what, I just had a blessed day. I've had a blessed week. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes it's your time, and this week it was my time.
It definitely was your time, and you have capitalized on this. Was there a point in pre-fish or a point in the tournament where you thought, I think this is my week?
Well, the second day when I caught 23 pounds, even the first day when I had 20, I was like, well, you're in contention. And I'd caught a lot of big fish this week. I'd actually caught a bunch of them shallow, and I thought I was going to fish shallow. And I started off on one school the first morning deep with that jig, and they went to biting it. It was pretty much over from there. I couldn't do anything else. It's one of those deals that, you live by the sword, you die by it, and I get locked into that deal. It's hard for me to do anything else. I just have so much confidence, fishing that way, and, that's the kind of fish when they do bite, you catch big ones. Like yesterday, I only had 4, but they weighed almost 18, and, I mean, it's just, this lake is phenomenal. It is the best lake in the north I've ever been to. Champlain gets a lot of press, but this is the one right here. And I'm not just saying that because I caught them. I knew that in practice. I was like, these are the prettiest fish we ever caught anywhere we go. I mean, it's an awesome area, beautiful town. I mean, I wish they were all here. I wish we fished all of our tournaments here.
And before we give you the trophy and make this official, I got to ask you, you say you were throwing that jig, and a lot of guys were throwing a jig in grass like that. What made your area different? Your area, what made you, because you spent a lot of time in that one area. Was there something that made that area different? Because a lot of guys were throwing the same bait in the same kind of areas and didn't weigh in 85 pounds of fish.
Well, the biggest difference was I figured out that you had to have the right type of vegetation and the right depth. In that area, the banks are really deep. Like I'm setting in like 18, flipping grass, it's 14 to 17. Now none of this grass actually came to the surface, but they were outside clumps. But right out on the backside of my boat, it was 150 foot of water. Now I came up here to this end and looked around a little bit in practice and didn't like it because it was all flat. I could just read that water farther down the lake a lot better. Basically what I did, I ran to the end of this flat, and that's where I started practicing. Because that water was easier for me to read. Now, I'll tell you 2 things. The fish number was not near as good in that area, but the quality was good, and I never caught a pike. I never caught a pike or a pickerel out of that area all week, and guys up here catching 40, 50, 60 a day. Just something's different about it. I don't know if it was the deep water or what, but I actually grew up on like Lake Ouachita and DeGray because I'm originally from Arkansas, and they're really deep like this and have that deep hydrilla edge, and I don't know, I was just real comfortable with doing it, and like I said, once I got a couple big bites, I pretty much couldn't do anything else, and I could kind of fish like that this week because I was in such good contention. I came into this tournament not having to catch a fish to make the classic, and let me tell you, that is such a huge pressure on everybody's mind making the classic. It's awesome to be able to fish and not have to worry about that.
Yesterday at Wayne, we talked about it, and you were a little ornery yesterday. I mean, Mark Zona and Hooked Up, he referred to your good buddy Mark Zona said you kind of got the attitude of a sewer possum, which I don't know what that means, but there is a picture. You can check it out. He's actually Googled it for you. But with I mean, when does that competitive spirit stop? 4 days from now, when you 4 days of competition from now, or does it never stop with you?
Well, honestly, I don't think if you're going to compete with this bunch, they're the best they've ever been. I mean, they never cease to amaze me what they catch. If you're not that competitive, you won't make it out here. I mean, I can just tell you, the first chance they get to put their foot on your throat, they're going to. I mean, I just know that's the way they are. We're all friends, but we're all just serious competitors. This is a hard deal.
Well, you put your foot on some throats this week. Congratulations. Let's make it official. Our tournament director, Chris Bowe's going to hand off the trophy. Get loud. Let me hear it. Your 2014 ARE Truck Cabs Bassmaster Elite Series champion, the Hack Attack, is back. Greg Hackney. Greg Hackney has done it. Your 2014 ARE Truck Cabs Bassmaster Elite Series champion belongs to Greg Hackney. One more time, New York. Let me hear it for your champion, Greg Hackney. We started with 107, cut it down to 50. 12 went out today, and just one remains. Your champion, Greg Hackney. New York, we want to thank you. You have been an incredible host here this week, and I can guarantee you one thing. We're coming to Waddington, New York next year, but I can guarantee you we'll be back here soon.